thing going on here. Every town has a story, and that's where we're headed tonight. We better get started because I think Penny here is about to give birth.
When you say Scotland, you might think that place near England, but in southeastern Connecticut, it means a small town with considerable rural charm. Here is Channel 3's Scott Haney with Every Town Has a Story from Scotland.
The walls in Pearl Dexter's home are covered with covers of tea, Pearl's international magazine.
Oh, I've been drinking tea since I was 14.
Drinking tea led to opening a tea shop, which led to teaching others about tea.
There was no place to go to except I just picked up the phone one day, called Lipton, asked them certain questions, and
Then Pearl wanted to write about tea, so 10 years ago, she started Tea.
as some people would say, I'm steeped in tea. That tea is a way of life for me.
Just down the block, this home, built in 1723.
This is the birthplace of Samuel Huntington. He was governor of Connecticut for 10 years, but he was also the signer of the Declaration of Independence. He was also a two-term president of the United States under the Articles of Confederation.
Yep, Samuel Huntington, born right here in Scotland, was one of the men who ran the country before George Washington did.
You'll still see original hardware, hinges, door handles. The fabric of the house pretty much remains the same.
Next in Scotland, we visit Sarah Pappenheimer's Brown Farm.
Brown was a family that farmed it in the 19th century, and so we've kept the name.
Sarah's grandparents bought the farm in the 1920s, and in 1995, she took it over.
Oh, I was a school teacher for years, and it never occurred to me I would be a farmer.
The farm wasn't always this scenic. Friends and neighbors have helped along the way, and today the views are spectacular. The fields are ready for planting, and the goats are multiplying like rabbits. All right, now this is Penny. Sarah, how long is the gestation period for a pygmy goat?
145 to 155 days.
And how long has she been pregnant?
Well, we put the buck in November 1st, and it's a day 165 today.
Penny, you gotta give him up, baby. You gotta give him up.
Poor Penny. The Brown Farm, located on Route 97, is open for visitors on Sundays. You can find a link to the Samuel Huntington birthplace on our website. That, of course, is WFSB.com, and click on Every Town Has a Story. Up next, Scott will head to the Scotland.
Every town has a story, and we are in the Scotland General Store, and I'm joined by Quentin Woodward, the proprietor. Quentin, how long has the store been here?
It dates back to pre-Revolutionary War times.
That is a long time.
Oh, yes.
Now, how long? It's been many owners over the years, right?
Oh, yes.
What do you sell?
You name it. Everything. Everything but prescription medicine, I guess.
Is this the place in town to be?
Oh, yes. This is the business district.
This is it?
Yes, the commercial district.
Your one store.
Yes.
This is like the Stop and Shop of
A
Scotland.
bag of horse feed or chicken grain or video rentals or everything in between. It's here.
And what you can get here at the Scotland General Store you might not find at other places. Hosmer Mountain Beverages, manufactured in Willimantic, Connecticut. They'll give you 30 cents back on the bottle. This is one big seller. Every Town Has a Story continues right after this. Thank you, Quentin.
You're welcome.
Bears in your backyard, well, they are certainly scary. That is unless you're in the eastern Connecticut town of Scotland, and they're made of wood. Channel 3's Scott Haney shows us a man who has carved out a niche for himself in the rural town.
The sawdust is flying. And out of an old tree trunk comes new life.
Beds is in chainsaw carving, it seems to be the thing that the most popular item. In trees is the second runner up.
All Oliver Cody needs is a chainsaw and a tree, and art happens.
Take a piece of wood and try to make beds, fish, whatever someone might want. I'll give it a shot. My initial plan was just to make a couple for my driveway, and geez, after I put a couple out there, it was people coming by and asking me how much I wanted for them, so I just evolved into a full-time thing where now I can't even keep up.
It's only been 6 short years since Oliver started creating.
The first man I seen carving, I was impressed. I never knew you could do work like that with a chainsaw. So I just dove into it.
Can you imagine how big the tree was these eagles were carved from?
One big piece, yep. It was quite a massive log, and I got over 100 hours into it, and that's not counting the hours my wife has doing the finish work, the painting and staining.
A man from Litchfield purchased this for $7,500, worth every penny.
Oliver Cody makes house calls too, we're told. He will actually work on a tree stump that is still rooted into your yard. Now, coming up, Scott talks to different folks from town about what they think of Scotland. That's coming up.
All right, we're sitting here outside the Scotland General Store, and we're wrapping things up. Every town has a story from Scotland. I've assembled a nice group of people. I got Pete Reardon, who is a farmer. Pete?
Yep.
I've got Stephanie, who's the first selectman.
No. Minority selectman.
Minority selectman. We've got Charlene, who works at the postal office, right?
Postmaster.
You are the postmaster.
Yes, I am.
And we've got Gwen, who owns
Scotland General Store.
Tell me about your town, Charlene. Why is it so awesome?
Because everybody's friendly. Everybody gets along.
Stephanie?
Very quiet pace of life. Most everyone here is commuting elsewhere to work. We enjoy it quiet.
Pete, what about you? When did you get here?
I've been here about 7-8 years now. I love the town for the people and the fact that you can still farm here. We got lots of good farmers, and that's what the town was built around. And
Quentin, is this the kind of town where everybody knows your name?
Oh, absolutely. Nearly everyone knows each other. It's such a nice sense of community.
Would you recommend people living here in Scotland?
Well, it's one of our best kept secrets, but yes.
We're wrapping up Every Town Has a Story. Until next week, next Friday evening, I'm Scott Haney. We'll see you then. Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Have a great weekend.